Remember, our happinesses is interdependent on others. Interdependent on other people around us. So if our happiness is interdependent on other people and that we're not independent, then wouldn't it be very important to act and tame our minds in such a way that this interdependency becomes a good interdependency, not a negative one? Which one of us right now can live independently? Live independently means emotionally be independent. We don't need anybody. I'm an island. Who can? No one can. So if each one of us cannot live independently, since we're interdependent, wouldn't it be very smart to send the right message out to people around us? Wouldn't it be very right to send the right message to ourselves? Wouldn't it be very right that we create a good interdependent relationship? To me, that's more logical. You see, I like that because it's not about praying, and I like to stress that it's not about chanting, it's not about hell, it's not about heaven, it's not about something watching you. It's about the truth. It's about yourself. It's about myself. It's about our human relationship. That's what it's about. And I like that because it's 100% true. We need to live on the basis of interdependency, on a very gross level, and on a very ultimate level, and on a very subtle level. And that's the truth. On top of that, we have the Buddhas to pray to. On top of that, we have powerful Dharma protectors to help us. On top of that, we have gurus to teach us. On top of that, we have the Holy Dharma to give us a direction and a way. But the most important thing is this is the reason we should take responsibility. The reason we should take responsibility and the reason we should be different and to send the right message out. The reason is this. We are interdependent. And I think that's the best reason in the world. We are interdependent with each other. We need other people's love and support and kindness and help and money and livelihood and support. We need that. And other people need that from us. So how can we expect to get it but we never give it? How can it always be that they have to give us love and care and correct our mistakes, but we never correct their mistakes or we never take care of them? Wouldn't that be that we drain or we're a parasite? A parasite is something that attaches itself to your body and sucks your blood. It doesn't give you anything, but it takes from you. It just takes. So this person's always in trouble, always needs money, always in a loan, always unhappy, always forgetting, always needs you to correct them, always making mistakes, always disappointing people, always. So if you're around these people, you pretty much have to always be watching them, taking care of them. Even when it comes to donating things, they have nothing to donate. They have no money to give, they have nothing to give to others. But for themselves, they can give very easily. But for others, they can't. They can't give anything to others. You look sometimes when we have special sessions, when we're doing things in the center, the people who consistently always donate and give, and there are people who always never ever give, and they're always in a situation they can't give. Even $10 or $20 or $30, they can't give anything. Why is that? Because that's what they choose. That's what they choose. They always simply cannot give, and that's the message to send to other people. So why is it that these type of people would expect happiness or get something good back? Am I criticizing or pointing fingers? No, it's a meditation. It is a meditation. It is a meditation on what? The truth. What truth? The very clean and clear fact that human existence is based on interdependency. That human happiness at our level, is based on interdependency. So we always make mistakes. We always forget things. We always have to be corrected. We always are damaging things. We always are forever a burden to others. then how can we be happy? Why is it we can't be happy if we're always like that? Let me tell you why. Because we are dependent on other people. So we will lose our fan base. We will lose the respect of other people. We will lose the care and the affection and the protection of other people because we will wear them down. So whether we live 1,000 miles away from them and we see them once in 100 years, or we see them every day, it doesn't make one difference on how it wears them down and how it tears us apart. Why does it tear us apart? Because we don't need to see their face or how they act to us to know how they feel about us. We know. We know. So people, a human tendency is to avoid or not see or confront. And that's very bad. Why is that very bad? Because we think that's escape. We think that things will be alright. It cannot be alright. It's impossible to be alright. How can it be alright if we don't create the causes for it to be alright? If we're trying to plant things and cultivate rice, but we don't go to the rice field every day to take care of it, how do we expect the rice to be cultivated at the end of the season? So how do we expect another person to love us or to give us affection and care and social good feeling if we don't create the causes? If we don't cultivate the rice, there will be no rice. How can avoiding the rice field produce rice? How can avoid another person create love and affection? So, what's the truth of the matter? The truth of the matter is very powerful. It's very powerful because it's a truth. Why is it very powerful? Because it is a truth that transcends and overrides all barriers, cultures, religions, backgrounds, thinking, all. That is interdependency. We are not alone. We cannot survive alone. We cannot act alone. In many ways, we are interdependent with each other. We are dependent on each other. We may even be financially independent of other people, but emotionally, we are not independent. We are not independent of another. We are dependent and interdependent. So if we are interdependent with each other, we are interdependent. But we want the domino effect, which is we line up all the domino chips. And we hit one and they just fall down and they just fall. One hits one, one hits one. If one is missing, how is this one going to hit this one? This one cannot fall. It's interdependency. And interdependency or dependency, the message we send to other people is the message we get back. The message we get back furthers the message we send to other people. And it becomes a vicious cycle. That's what we call samsara. Endless. So how long we've been alive now? How many years? What's the message we've been sending to other people? Why is it for some people, as the years go by, people respect them more and more and more and more and more? Why is that? Why is it as the years go by, people respect some people less and less and less and less and less? You see, if you have sex with a person, if you drink with a person, if you go out with a person, and you do drugs with a person, that can make you lose respect for them or not respect them or not think highly of them for a short while. But actually, that's very superficial. It's how much a person takes responsibility. It's how much a person cares. It's how much a person doesn't burden you and other people. That's what earns your respect. That's why in the case of Tsem Tulku Rinpoche, even though he was having sex with this person, that person, this person, it didn't destroy people's faith or confidence in him. Why? Because that everybody can see after a while. In the beginning, people say, oh, why like that? Why like that? Why like that? But actually, when we understand it better, when we look at his quality and his care and his love, we find out that having sex for him was like eating, sleeping, peeing, washing. It was nothing. It was just an activity. But when we look deeper, why do so many people respect him? And their respect for him became stronger. I mean, when he first came to America, he had very little following. He had a lot of problems. He had immigration problems. And a lot of people within the Tibetan community were against him. And he was very nervous about how the Karmapa felt about him. He went through extensive preparation for the Karmapa to come. He was very worried. He had his students dress up. He became clean, groomed, rooms painted. And a lot of preparation was done. Because he was hiding something? No. Because he was acting in such a way to get close to his students so that he can help them. But that would not be understood in the Tibetan community. See, in the Tibetan community, a teacher doesn't have to go to that extent to teach the Dharma to the student, because the Dharma consciousness is mass. The Dharma consciousness in the Tibetan community is mass. Everybody knows it. So they don't have to go the extra mile to please or make the student happy or comfort. But in a foreign situation, you have to do that. In the foreign situation, the teachers have to work double hard. The teachers have to make double the effort. Why? Because you're teaching people that know nothing about Dharma, that have no consciousness of the Dharma, that understand it not at all. It's like teaching barbarians in a way. Why? What are barbarians? Barbarians are people whose mind is pervasively selfish. Me. It's very hard to break through. Very, very hard. See, the Tibetan situation, the temple is already there. People will come and donate to the temple immediately. The minute you mention it, you don't have to explain why. You just say it's for the temple. You just say that, immediately people will donate and give. And they don't question it. If you tell them to be the monks or make statues, no problem. Like one of the monks was telling me in my part of Tibet, that if I go there, I was joking with him. I said, oh, the monastery is quite small and all that stuff. He says, oh, no problem. If you go there, the whole village will come out in full force to rebuild a monastery for you. I said, why is that? They said, because everybody knows the benefit. Everybody knows the benefit of a monastery, of statues, and lamas, and monks. They all know the benefit. You don't have to explain that to them. So I said, but we don't have much money. He said, we don't need money in our village. I said, why? He said, because the forest is so vast. We just go in there, we cut the wood, we bring it back. We have craftsmen, we have woodsmen, we have contractors. We can build a temple. We build it ourselves. And people will do that on their time off, on weekends, on evenings. They'll just come and build it. Why? Because they know the benefit. And we don't need money. But that's it. And then when a teacher gives teachings, you don't have to beg people to come. You don't have to tell them to stay awake. You don't have to tell them to be alert. You don't have to say any of that. They already know. I think Wong would understand that coming from Thailand. If people get donations for temples, they talk, everybody knows. You don't have to explain the benefits. Oh, there's karma, you collect merit, you change. You don't have to say respect teachers. You don't have to say, oh, don't fight with teachers, or don't be nasty to them. It's understood. Why? Because Dharma consciousness is mass. Mass means everybody knows. But when we come to countries that are not, it's a very big, huge battle. Why? You have students that fight with the teachers. You have students who say nasty things about the teachers. You have even students who play relationship with teachers. Oh, I like you, I'll be near you and I'll prostrate to you and get teachings from you and I'll help. Oh, I don't like you, I go to another teacher. I go to another center. It's like they treat the teachers like some kind of love interest or love relationship. Not like a real teacher. Oh, I like you, you're my teacher. I don't like you, I got another teacher. Oh, I like you, you do what I say, you give me what I want, I get what I want from you, then I treat you well, and I talk to other people well. But if I don't get what I want from you, or you don't treat me the way I want to, I go to another teacher, I go to another place, and then I tell other people, you're not good. Some people don't say it directly. They don't say, oh, you're not good. They say, oh, I'm going to another teacher in another center now. What's the message you're sending out? You're not good. It's very difficult. It's very, very difficult to teach Dharma in a place that Dharma consciousness is not there. The battle is great. Just like His Eminence Trungpa Rinpoche said when we met him in Nepal. Today, when Dharma teachers teach, it's much more difficult and they're more brave. And they have more obstacles to overcome. Simply the way I explained to you. And they say that teachers today are more kinder than Buddhas of the past. The teachers today are not more kind than the teachers of the past. They're more kinder than the Buddhas themselves. Why? Because the obstacles they need to overcome to establish the Dharma today is much, much more than Buddha's time. Much more. Much, much more. And if we think about it, it's quite logical. So therefore, if it is the teachers today are more kinder than the Buddhas of the past, then the students today must collect much more merit than the students of the past that they do Dharma today. Why? Because the obstacles are more also for students. It's the same. So therefore, the point is this is, when we think about all that, we have that wonderful opportunity now to practice the Dharma. We have that wonderful liberation in the palm of our hand right now. And if we don't grab that opportunity, why do we expect ourselves to be happy? Why do we expect ourselves to have good things come? Why do we expect love and understanding from people? Why? What is the message we send out to others and ourselves every single day? By our expression, by our action, by the way we dress, by the way we look, even by the way we smell. If we don't brush our teeth and every single day our teeth smells, we're going to send that message that people don't want to get too close to us. They might like us, they don't want to get too close because we got smelly breath. I mean, it's nothing to joke about. I'm just giving you a very simple example. So every single day, whatever work we do, we don't do our work. We don't finish on time. We don't finish correctly. Or we have to have other people correct our work. And we send the message to people, please get rid of us. That's the message we send. Please get rid of us. If our work every day has to be checked by other people, has to be pushed by other people, and we can't get done well, then the message we send to other people is, get rid of me. Kick me out. Throw me out. Whenever we make mistakes all the time, we can say, I'm sorry a few times, but it won't last. Then the message you send to other people is, kick me out, get rid of me, I need to go. That is the message you send to other people. Why do you send that message to people? Why would people want to be around people who are burdened? You see, people don't want to be around people who are difficult and a burden because they themselves have enough problems and burdens and difficulties. So you add to it. You add to it. You have to understand, you have problems. But when you bring problems to other people, some people's problems and difficulties and responsibilities might be more than yours. Much more. So when you add to theirs, you might be bringing them to breaking point. So if you bring your problems to other people, the message you send is this, is kick me out. So when people tell you to get out, or people tell you I don't want to talk with you anymore, or I don't want to be with you anymore, that is the ultimate expression, a human expression to you is that you are creating a blood clot in our interdependent relationship. You're creating a clot. That is the ultimate message we're sending to you. So what do we do with blood clots? We remove it. A blood clot in our body can lead to a stroke. A blood clot in human relationships leads to disharmony and unhappiness. So every single day we send that message to people, and it goes on for years and years and years, that you need to take care of me, you need to give me money, I don't give you money, I don't give you help, I don't give you anything, but you give me. You take care of me, you nurture me, I'm allowed to get angry and make mistakes, but you're not. And you must pay for me because I don't want to put effort to make money so I can pay for you. That's the message you send out to people every single day. And what's that message? You create a clot in the interdependency. So the message you send to them is, get rid of me. I have to go. And that's the message you send to yourself. So when that message is sent to yourself that I can't be here, I can't be with you, I can't be with the people that I like, then you go to the next level of people that you don't like, that don't like you, and you force yourselves on them. Then you get kicked out, you go to the next level, next level, next level. And then why are you not happy? Because you're not at where you're supposed to be in life. So what's the message we send to people? 1 year? 2 years? 3 years? 4 years? 10 years? 15 years? What's the message? And then we go one more step. There's karma involved. And then the negative karma will bring us back into that situation again and again and again and again. So how come we can't donate things to other people? How come we can't give food to other people? How come we cannot give advice to other people? How come we can't give knowledge to other people? How come we can't do that for other people? But all the time, our whole lives, people have to do that for us. There are people around us, we look at them. In the beginning, when we met them, they're very poor. They have difficulties. No one listens to them. No one respects them. A few years later, they have things to give. They're very generous. They have advice. They have love. People flock around them. They become more and more famous. Why is that? Because their poverty was changed by their change of attitude. But our poverty is not changed. Our poverty is not changed because we didn't change our attitude. So there are people we meet. A few years ago, they were nobody and nothing. Just hanging around, not much respect or anything. All of a sudden, they're like, everybody likes them. They're clamoring around them. They want to be around them. They have money. They have help. They're able to help more, give more. They're always generous with other people. And they create happiness in people's minds. And people respect them more and more. Why? Why? Because they've changed their attitude. They have realized that they're interdependent with other people. And they've decided that in the chain of interdependency, in the relationship of interdependency, they become someone that give and take and give and take. Not just take and never give. How can we only take and not give? If we take and not give, we can get away with it. People will tolerate it. But remember something. How long? And even when we're having other people tolerate us, our laziness, our irresponsibility, our lack of effort, our lack of ingenuity, just our total laziness, how much will they tolerate us? We know that there's that big question. So when there's that big question in our mind, how long they will tolerate us? Even while we're being tolerated, we cannot be happy. We have a worry. When do I get kicked out? When do they stop talking to me? When do they explode at me? When do I get caught? When does it stop? We have that feeling. So while we're being tolerated by other people, we still are not happy. Why? Because we know that it's a question of when. When will I be thrown out? When will I be caught? When will they tell me enough? Just like when Denzil Osel was told no. The big no. And Tripin Trungpa slammed his hand down on the table and dented it and screamed no. He was very fierce. And he screamed at Denzil Osel, I made you and I can break you. For a high lama like him to show so much anger, and when I say show, I mean show. People like him don't have anger. So when they show so much anger, it means that that person has pushed it. So my point is, what is, even when Tripin Trungpa pushed it and screamed and told them off, he still wrote a beautiful poem. He still wrote a beautiful teaching in response to the harm the person did. That shows you his nature, his mind. So my point is, what is, sometimes we avoid the person. We think, we're going to get examples, and we're going to get attacked, and we're going to be embarrassed in public. But actually, we look at that negatively. Why? Because we don't want to face ourselves. Actually, the Lama is very kind. When the Lama embarrasses us in public, or gives us examples, or we know the finger is pointed at us, it's pure kindness. Why? It's an effort for us to redeem ourselves. It's an effort for us to change ourselves. It's a Lama giving constant messages and opportunities for us to change ourselves. Do we do that for other people? No. We don't. Usually when we don't get what we want, we just disappear. So when Lamas give examples, or when parents give examples, or a friend gives us examples, or even they're sarcastic, or they give subtle messages in their conversations, actually quite kind. We should see it that way. Why should we see it that way? Because we did the harm. We did the harm. So therefore, the message we send to other people is what we will get back. And no matter how sneaky we are, how we avoid our relationship, how we avoid our responsibility, how we try to hide from ourselves and others, during that period that we're hiding, remember something. We are still not at peace because we will think, when is the game up? When will we be caught? So there's always this fear, when. We go to bed thinking when. We wake up thinking when. We go to work thinking when. We meet other people thinking when. All the time we're like, when. So all that energy is wasted toward when. That's very unnatural, isn't it? Very unnatural. If we love ourselves more, we will not live with that kind of state of mind. And the reason we need to change, the reason is we are interdependent. That's the reason. Let's not go to a higher reason. At our level, that reason is good enough. We need to change just because we are interdependent with other people. And why is that a reason to change? Because we need love. We need help. We need social activities. We need care. We need affection. We need intimacy. We need food. We need money. We need to do something with purpose in our lives. And that can only be done in relations with other people. Together with other people. So we're going to be with other people and we always don't do our part. Or we do our part and we don't do it well, and we create this situation where other people have to always double check us. Then we destroy this interdependent relationship. So if other people have to check us all the time, correct our mistakes, tell us our mistakes, all the time, again and again, we destroy this interdependent relationship we have with others. When we destroy this interdependent relationship with others, how can it be that we're happy? How is it being happy being alone? How is it happy when we know that people don't respect us? How are we happy when we know that certain people have helped us tremendously and they're very hurt with us and damaged by us, and we do nothing about it? How can we be happy? And this emotional weight will bring us down deeper and stronger until we slouch. We can't sit up straight. We can't even look at ourselves, and we don't like ourselves. And that's when the danger comes. Why is that danger? The most explosive actions come when people hate themselves. Suicide, screaming, fighting, yelling, disharmony, all arises from self-hatred. Self-hatred arises from destroying the interdependent relationship. The interdependent relationship is destroyed when we make no efforts to give back what we have received. The interdependent relationship is destroyed when we only take and not give. So when we take and not give, it's unfair. Why is it people always have to give us advice, always give us money, always bail us out of trouble, always emotionally correct us, always watch over us, always tell us what we've done wrong, and we don't take any responsibility for ourselves? Why is it other people always have to pay for us, always have to give us, and we never donate, we never give back? So when we hate ourselves, it came from where? It came from ourselves. Why? Because we didn't take responsibility. Because we didn't take responsibility, we create this disharmony, and this disharmony has created other people to alienate us from them and keep them away from us. And then at the same time, the more they alienate themselves from us, the more we have to avoid from there, from here, from there. We can't do this, we can't see that person, we can't go here, we're uncomfortable here, and we start hating ourselves because we know that came from us. So the reason why we need to take responsibility and change, the reason why we need to do things without being pushed, the reason why we ourselves need to be a hero for others and ourselves is because we are in an interdependent relationship. What is the interdependent relationship? An interdependent relationship is a social action and reaction. It is when we're kind to others, we get kindness. It's that when we give food, we get food. When we help financially, we get help financially. When we give love, we get love. When we give respect, we get respect. How do you give respect to other people? Giving things with two hands, that's a small thing. Respect for other people is when you don't burden them. When you burden other people, you don't respect them. If you don't respect other people, why do you think things will be harmonious? Why is it when you don't do your part, you disrespect people? Because you're disrespectful because you don't care about their time. You don't care about their problems. You don't care about their burden. You don't care about how they feel and what's going on in their lives. You expect them to correct your mistakes. You always forget to lock the door. You always fall asleep. You always don't have money. You always do things wrong. People always have to check what you're doing. If they have to do that for you all the time, non-stop, you don't respect them. Why? Because they have problems too. They have financial and physical and psychological burdens and difficulties also. So when they come around you, you add to it. You add to their problem. When you add to their problem, 1 time, 2 times can. But when it's continuous and daily and weekly and monthly, you add to their problems, how do you expect people to react back to you? By pushing you away, by shouting at you, by telling you off, by fighting with you. Then when people push you away and they fight with you and they shout at you, will you be happy? Or do you feel angry? So then what happens? This chain of interdependency, this cycle of interdependency is disrupted. You create that. You see, what's beautiful about this whole thing, why it's beautiful? Because it's something that we can all say, yeah, that makes sense. Because if I say, hey, you're going to go to hell if you keep doing this, some people believe it, some people don't. So there's not this pervasive agreement. Pervasive means, and under any scrutiny, it comes out correct. Pervasive help. Pervasive, to pervade something is that it fits anywhere, anytime, through time, space, and culture. So if I talk about the Buddhas, if I talk about the hells, it won't be pervasive in your mind because you don't have the ability to grasp it. But if I talk about interdependency, no one in this room can say, that doesn't make sense. I don't believe that. Why don't you believe that? Unless you're insane, because that's something we can all see. So we live on interdependency with each other. We need other people's love. They need our love. We need other people's financial help. They need our financial help. Why? Things go up and down for everyone. Everyone. So why is it that they always have to financially take care of us, but we never take care of them? Why is it they always have to come out with money, but we never have to come out with money? Because we don't make the effort to have money. Why don't we make the effort to have money? Because we don't put the effort in to create it. So why is it other people always have to advise us? Why is it when we're with other people, they always have to look at what we're doing and double check us and tell us what we're doing wrong? And that we just completely surrender and let go and let people around us tell us what to do, but we never have to do anything. Even what we do is 6:30. Why? So that's the message we send to people every day. And after a while, High Lama or a normal, ordinary being like us, people are going to say, it is enough. You don't think Dalai Lama scolds people? He definitely scolds people. You don't think Takusanji or the Abbot or the High Lamas or Gandhima doesn't scold people? Even Gandhima scolds people. And we're talking about very high-level beings. So high-level beings will scold us and tell us off and say, no, and bang the table and say no, and break things and say no. Why won't normal people like us be even more angry? Is that what we want? To make people angry? To make people hate us? To make ourselves hate other people? Is that what we want, to break down the interdependent relationship? Is that what we want? Is that what we want, for people to alienate us and push us away? And is that what we want, to push other people away and alienate ourselves from other people? Then we'll be very unhappy, because that will go against the natural state of the human mind, which is we are social beings. And that's what we're doing. So we will become more and more unhappy because we become more alienated. Even there are very wealthy people that some people need their money, so they stay around them and tolerate them. But inside these wealthy people's minds, they're very unhappy, very temperamental, and very angry. And they shout at people because they know that people don't love them. They just want to use them for their money. Why? Because they didn't make an effort to become a kinder person. So even if we're surrounded by a lot of people who are a boss of a huge factory, it doesn't mean we're happy. Do you know why? Because we're still interdependent. How is a factory boss dependent on his workers? He needs their love and respect. He needs them to care for him. What do the factory workers need from him? They need his financial help that arises from his care, not slavery. Not that he makes them slaves and disrespects them, or makes them work like animals, worse than animals, and then pays them. So they take the money grudgingly, unhappily, because they're dependent on it. But they need him to supply money to pay their salary out of love and care. And what does a factory boss need from his workers? Love and care and respect. And both people are happy. So don't think we can escape with wealth. We cannot. In fact, with wealth, we create even more, a bigger time bomb. That's why a lot of wealthy people commit suicide, or do drugs, or alcohol. Why? It's a time bomb. Wealth only makes the situation worse and hides it better. It becomes a time bomb.